This is Jonathan Agnew, fifth pro boxing fans, joined by Denzel Too Sharp Bentley, number one contender with the WBO, uh, to obviously Janibek's title. Denzel, how's things been going? You're obviously in Mallorca with Conor Benn and stuff, but how's everything going?
Yeah, all good, thanks, man. All good. Nice little trip to Mallorca to get some work in. So yeah, no, it's been good.
Obviously, we last saw you out with the Brad Pauls fight in December. That was a good performance, but not really anything since in terms of like fight news or anything. Anything in the pipeline?
No, nothing, man. It's just all the waiting game, innit? I mean, Frank's obviously made a promise, and he wants to deliver on that promise. So he doesn't want to make any, sudden moves um that wouldn't live up to what he promised. So obviously, I appreciate that, and it's just a waiting game right now. Waiting game. Obviously, Janibek's been granted a voluntary defense, which he's having April 5th in about a week and a half. So yeah, just have to wait for that, sit tight, and see what's going on that side of things, and then I'm sure Frank would work his magic for me.
So is that a promise you're talking about, like another world title shot?
Yes, I mean that was the whole incentive to the build up for me and Brad. The winner gets a shot at the world title. That was like the dangling carrot, apart from obviously the four belts that were on the line. And obviously, I came out the winner in that fight. So that's the promise that he's that he's intent on delivering. So yeah.
So obviously, like I say, Janibek's fighting, like you said, next week against I'm not sure the guy's name, but some French kid.
Yeah,
Message to him: fight me or get out the way, basically.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, look, I'm the number one challenger now. I've earned my right to fight him again after them just kind of picking me out of the bag, thinking I was an easy touch. So if he wants to go through a fight like that again, then we're all good. Like, let's get it on. And if not, then he's got some. He's got a few options. He can vacate it and keep the IBF and do what he's doing, or he can move up and you know consider a new challenge. But either way, I want my shot one way or another, whether it's against him or not. But I couldn't care less. I just want my shot.
Are you willing to fight anyone else but a world title shot? So if say Frank offered you someone else before a Janibek or whoever's got the WBL
Like who though?
belt,
Like what sort of fight are
like
we
a
talking
like a
about?
Shane Mosley Jr. who's highly rated, someone like
Oh
that.
yeah, 100%. But it's like, is there a need to fight someone like that? Because it's not like I need an eliminator. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? If Janibek does vacate, I could end up fighting him anyway because I think he's number two with the WBO. So it's like, wait out your options. I could fight him for a bigger carrot, or I just fight the champion and maybe defend it against him. Either way, a fight with Shane Mosley Jr. is very realistic and it could possibly happen just because of where we're both ranked and where we are in our careers. So, I mean, I don't need to rush at a fight like that. If I had to wait till next year for a world title shot, for example, then yes, I would take that shot in between. But it's looking like that could be my next fight. The world title shot could be my next fight. So, what's the point of rushing anything or risking anything? I think I risked my position enough times last year. Um, so yeah.
So like obviously you're the fire, you're focusing on that, but in terms of your team, are they like having talks with the WBO? Because I'm sure Janibek, if he comes through on next weekend, which we expect him to do, he'd want maybe then a unification. But is there like your team pushing that you are his next fight or something like that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, look, I'm the number one contender, and obviously soon to be mandatory. You can fight a mandatory before you fight for unification. You know what I mean? I mean, you're not skipping me to get unification. We'll make sure that I get that shot. He can unify, like I said, he can unify with the IBF and the WC if that's what he wants to do. But I want my shot at the WBO next, and don't feel like I'm not stepping aside for anyone. I don't feel like putting anyone else's goals and dreams before mine. So he can do what he wants next, but I need my shot at the WBO.
So say that fight could happen, say in the summertime, like June, July, or something like that. Would you have one more before in terms of like a warm up fight? Because you would have been out the ring since December, or
I
would
would
you
have,
go straight in?
I would have liked to, but if I was going to, I would have liked to have had the date from now. So I'm working towards the date from now. I don't feel like rushing a warm up fight for anything. I'm always in the gym anyway. I'll be in good shape, and if you're not motivated enough for a world title fight, then you're not motivated for anything. Do you know what I mean? So I can't blame anything on ring rust or nothing like that because I'll be in the gym, I'll be working, and whatever comes, comes. But if it's after the summer, then yes, I would like to get a fight in between just to stay active, just to stay busy. Um, but summer's not bad. Summer's not bad.
Mm. Now, obviously, before obviously Janibek was talked about, there's a lot of talk about you and Hamzah fighting. He obviously drew, and he's now gone up in weight. What was your thoughts on that?
On what, him going up in weight or the fight?
Both.
Yeah, the fight. I just don't think he was willing to dig as deep as he needed to. His corner told him he was down and he needed a knockout, and he needed a knockout. And at no point in that fight did he look like he was trying to go for it or was trying to change the gears and step on the paces. I just think he had an awkward customer in front of him and he didn't have to handle it. Which, listen, that's what happens, isn't it? It's boxing. Him moving up in weight doesn't really surprise me. I did say he wouldn't fight me, and that's what I kept saying to everyone else. You ask him, so I'm asking me. I've always said yes. He hasn't said yes yet. He just keeps saying maybe down the line, maybe down the line. He never said yes. Let's do it next. I think I proved that he wouldn't fight me. I'm probably too dangerous for him for, a lower reward than he would get fighting the names he's fighting. So, I don't blame him, but like I said, I told you guys, I'm willing to fight anyone, and if he was next, I would have took that. But he obviously wasn't up for that.
Now, obviously, he's gone up in weight, so I guess at least for now that fight's on hold. But is it in some ways? I know you
We don't know that. You don't know that.
still happen.
I don't mind. I don't mind. You know, shifting or putting on 8 pounds for that fight. That's still the guy I'll fight. I mean, super middleweight ain't too far away. Like, I don't feel like I'm not, or I'm too small for super middle. You know what I mean? Especially in the domestic scene. But for now, obviously, I got a world title shot. But in the near future, I mean, you say my name, I might just pop up.
I guess as well, like you can't have, say, 2 years of talk about it and then it kind of just evaporates and no one talks about it again. I know you were getting a
Do you know
bit
what I mean?
sick of the questions, but like it's still built up to a fight that people wanted to see and it looked like it might happen. So I guess, like you say, it could and should still happen at some point because it's been talked about so much.
Definitely, but it's on him. There isn't a fighter that I've ever said no to,
Mm.
ever. Like, or said down the line, or this, that. I've taken losses and I've come back and I've done this. If I was like picking and choosing my opponents and trying to maneuver myself, I'd still be undefeated right now. But I've always welcomed the challenge. I've always done, what needed to be done to help my career move on because I've never been, hyped up as the next prospect or whatever it is. So I've always just taken my challenges, and that's what's made my career what it is today. But the only person I said no to the first time was Derek Osaze. Only person. I've never said no to anyone else, and that's because I felt like we was a bit too cool. Like there was, we're not. I'm not gonna say we weren't best of friends or whatever, but he'd check up on me, ask about my kids. I'd check up on him. We've got loads of mutuals, and I thought it's gonna be a bit awkward because I know the position we're both in. We're both trying to revive our careers. And I know what my intentions were, and obviously he knew what his intentions were, and we're basically knocking each other off the horse. And it weren't for nothing life changing rather than an opportunity. So I was like, I don't really want that fight because like it would do more harm than good. But he insisted that he was ready, so we took the fight. Other than that, I've never said no to anyone for any other reason,
Mm.
literally. So that's on him why we haven't fought or why we won't fight on
Now,
Hamza. I mean, yeah.
so I know he obviously taken a loss now, and I'm not sure what he's doing next. But one guy you've always wanted to rematch is Heaney. Do you think that is still possible, even though he lost his last fight?
Yeah, I don't know because after the last fight, he came out with some long statement, kind of insisting that he may retire. He's thinking about what he wants to do, but like I said, like any rematch just needs to make sense for me. Like I gave him an opportunity the first time when I was giving him a shot at the British. I didn't need to, and obviously disregarding obviously the circumstances going on around my life and stuff, I still said no. I've signed for this fight. I'm going to do it. When I could have probably just taken a step back and been like, nah, because I wouldn't have been stripped because it was a voluntary defense
Mm.
and just been like, let me sort out my life behind closed doors and get back to that at a later date. But nah, I've stuck to you know what I'd promised, and that was the fight. And I feel like doing that again, I'm giving him another opportunity, even though I do want to beat him up. I'm giving him an opportunity, but I feel like that the next opportunity he gets from me needs to be earned. If he's on a winning streak and he's doing well, and okay, now you deserve a rematch, let's make it make sense. Because if I go in there and knock him out now, I'll be like, oh, but he knocked him out when he was down at his worst. Like he wasn't the Heaney that I need him to fire up and get into gear and start winning fights. And it's like, okay, cool. Now I feel better about knocking you out because right now I know you won the fight, but in terms of careers and stuff or whatever, like I'm the one moving forward.
Mm. Moving on to obviously your time with Conor Benn. How did that come about, first of all? I don't think you've sparred him before, have you?
I sparred him once before the first Eubank fight,
Right.
just once in an 8 rounds. That's the only time I sparred him. But yeah, Tony Sims has helped me out a lot in the last few camps last year. I think my last two camps when I fought Derek Osaze and I fought Brad. Tony obviously brought down his boys and George Lillard and Jimmy Sayers, and they helped me out a lot, like massively, to get ready for those fights. So of course, yeah, obviously you build a relationship, you know people you speak, whatever. So Tony was in the gym and he just said, "Oh, Denz, I just thought of this. Like, would you come out to Mallorca to spar Conor Benn for the upcoming fight?" And I said, "Listen, as long as I ain't got a date and I ain't got anything going on, I'm more than happy to come over and help." Of course, he sat down with my coach and manager Martin, and they discussed what they needed to discuss to get me out of there. And I didn't have nothing coming up. I didn't have a date. I don't have anything. Martin also felt like it would be a good idea to just get out of the gym and different environment and just so you don't go stale and stuff. And yeah, they asked me to come over, and I was just like, yeah, whatever. I'm more than happy to help. You've helped me enough in my career, so I mean, it doesn't hurt to return the favor, does it? So yeah,
How,
just went out there and yeah, just got to work.
how was the work with Ben?
Good work, man. It was good work. It was yeah, it was very good work. And I know people might think, oh, bigger and this, that, and that, but he's strong. Physically, he's strong. He puts a lot of work, puts a lot of effort into his work. And he's not coming to lay down or like take a back step and try and see through a couple of rounds. Like every minute of every round, he's trying to work. He's trying to hurt you and wear you down or something. Do you know what I mean? It was very good work. Even I was saying to them as well for myself, like obviously where I've got no data or anything, it sharpened me up mentally more so than anything. Like I said, okay, cool. I got to start thinking on my toes here to, maneuver around and make sure he's getting the work that he wants and needs from me, rather than me just being sluggish and lazy and stuff like that. So it was good.
And in terms of his power, I know it's sparring, but like he's obviously going up a weight to fight Eubank. What was his power?
Yeah, he's got good power. He's definitely got good power. Also because he throws a lot into his shots. I mean, everyone's seen him fight. Do you know what I mean? He puts a lot into his shots, and they all have bad intentions in them. Like his shots have bad intentions in them. Like he wants to hurt you with every shot he throws, and that's no secret. So his power is definitely is real. He's got decent power. He's got good power, but I don't know how much power Eubank's got. You know what I'm trying to say, and I know people are saying, "Oh, he doesn't hit harder than Liam Smith or this, that," but we can't judge that. I'm saying we don't know that. Yes, I would have loved to have sparred someone like Liam Smith, especially coming up in my career. I think he's a great fighter, but when you're comparing it because Liam knocked him out, you can't say Ben hits harder than Conor Benn hits harder than Liam Smith. You can't say Liam Smith is harder than Conor Benn. You know what I mean? I just know that Conor Benn probably has enough power to keep Eubank honest. If there's not enough power to knock him out, it's enough power for him to get Eubank's respect. You know what I mean? So when he hits Eubank, he's going to be like, okay, kid's got a little bit of pop. I can't be sloppy because if I do get caught, it can hurt me. He's got that type of power, especially coming from welterweight to middleweight. He can keep you on your toes because it's good power.
And how many rounds were you doing with him? Because you were there a couple of weeks.
Yeah, we've done 8 rounds. Every spar was 8 rounds.
Okay. And what going into now the Eubank fight, having been around Conor, you've called out Eubank in the past. The fight's not happened and stuff, but are you backing Conor to get the job done against Eubank?
Yeah, especially obviously more so because I've been a part of it now.
Yeah.
So it's like if I can help you prepare for the big fighter career and you win, then not to take obviously the credit or the glory from the person that actually done it. I can pat myself on the back and be like, I've done a good job helping you get ready. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But that's just little things that it wouldn't really mean anything, would it? Because if no one was to know, it's still just between me and whoever was there. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not going to be headline news. Like, oh, Denzel helped Conor Benn knock out Eubank. It's not going to be that. Like his coach and his team will do that. They're going to set a game plan based on the sparring that we've had because they feel like me and Eubank throw similar shots, as in the uppercuts, the hooks, and all these things. So they're going to make a game plan based on that. And Tony's a good little, Tony's a good coach. He's good at making strategies and making game plans for his fighters. So yeah, if he knocks him out, he knocks him out. If he beats him, he beats him. I mean, that's an opportunity gone for myself, but there'll be more down the road. So I'm not
Mm.
really too bothered. I hope he doesn't. I hope he does go and do it.
And obviously you're going back out there uh, in a few weeks, is it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So I guess that shows like, they obviously think a lot of you and believe that you're giving him good work for this fight. So it's a compliment to you, right?
Yeah, I guess so. I hope so. I hope it's because of that and not because no one wants to go out there. But yeah, but either way, it's good work, man. It's good work, and I've seen how they've been training firsthand, and he's training really hard. So I've got a lot more confidence in him to win this than I probably would have before. Because obviously, I'm not in the gym, I wouldn't have seen it. I'd have just been guessing. Now it's like I've seen the work you're putting in. Like I really believe it. Still, I really believe you believe what you're saying. Do you know what I'm saying? So he can go and do it.
Do you know what's crazy as well? Like the relationship you've got with Tony Sims and that camp now, you were actually against him when you fought Felix Cash. So it shows like how small boxing is, but also like it's just crazy that
It's
you were kind of against each other.
it's actually mad because even before we was against each other, I used to go to the gym for sparring a lot. I used to do a lot of rounds with Ted Cheeseman.
Right.
Ted Cheeseman was from my amateur gym, and I used to spar with Ted quite a lot when he was with Tony. So like even going into that fight, I was like, oh, Tony's got loads of experience against me in the corner. Like he knows what I do because I'm always sparring his fighters, and we know nothing about Cash. Me and Cash had sparred once, and it ended up in a fight or whatever, and no one knows. So it's like, how do you strategize from watching? So it
Mm.
was it was interesting. Obviously, yeah, I lost that fight, and we move on in it. But like we said, it's listen, it's no hard feelings because that's that. It didn't end my career. I'm moving forward. They've come and helped me since that as well with sparring and stuff like that. So yeah, it is good to know that boxing is small, and obviously as much as when you're against each other, you want to win. People can put feelings aside and get to work and help each other out and stuff.
Mm. Just away from this, ask you about some other topics in boxing. Uh, I haven't spoke to you for a while actually. So last month we saw Tank draw against Lamont Roach.
Oh
What
yeah, yeah,
do
yeah.
you make of that? And if they rematch, who do you think wins?
It was a good fight, man. It was a very good fight. Of course, the little stuff with the knee touching the canvas and stuff, like, and even him going to his corner, and technically your corner interfering with a fight
Mm.
in the middle of a fight can be a disqualification. And you're anything but the sole of your feet touching the canvas, which obviously from under Davis' knee is a knockdown. Um, so it could have been called a knockdown, but I think he should have got the rest attention first and let him know he can't see with his eyes and let the ref deal with it. You know what I'm saying? But you done what you done, and that's it. But I just feel like that can come from like a sparring mentality. Like it's a bit weird because it's like you could do that in sparring and get away with it. Oh my bad, I can't see. Go to your corner, or whatever. But in a real fight, you can't do that. I think it was a good fight, and I think in a rematch, Tank has to come with a little bit more. He has to be a little more switched on. Do you know what I mean? But I do honestly feel like he's fallen out of love with the sport and probably battling some demons with himself that he needs to or wants to take care of because he's probably not feeling himself at the moment. I think he probably could be, going through some sort of depression or some sort of something that's making him feel the way he is and talk the way he is, talk the way he's been speaking, all about retiring. I don't want to be here too long and blah blah blah. He's definitely got some demons he has to deal with. But that draw with Lamont Roach might just put a battery in his back and feel like, nah, that might give him the energy he needs or whatever is the bit between his teeth that he needs to go in there and want to knock him out. Like, you know what, just because of this, I'm gonna hurt you. So I
Mm.
think I think if he does have that, he wins the next one. Or the rematch, whatever.
Mhm. Now, I know you're a big Crawford guy, and we'll speak about the Canelo fight probably nearer the time. But just your thoughts on it. Can he go up there and beat Canelo Alvarez, going up two divisions?
At, at first I didn't like it. I was like, nah, man, don't get this fight made. But As it goes on, I'm just thinking, you know what? The way this guy's so confident, because even he said it himself that he wouldn't go and fight Canelo because he's the hardest weight class for a reason. He used to say all them things. But the reason that the fact that he's getting out there to do it, he must see something. He might probably just thinks him and Canelo are similar in size. Canelo's obviously been at these weight classes a lot longer, so he's obviously a lot more physical and stronger. But and Crawford ain't the typical boxer mover anymore. He's not. He never really was, to be honest. Like he always wants to come forward and hurt you. I think off the top of my head, the only fight where he boxed and moved to a victory was the fight with what's that guy's name that gave him Connor's first loss?
Prescott? No,
The one that gave Amir Khan his first loss. What's his name again? Oh, I got his face in my head as well.
Bradis Prescott, was it?
Brady's Prescott. Brady's Prescott. Because at that point he was 135 fighter and he fought Prescott at 140 on like a last minute type of thing. That's the only fight that he just actually boxed and moved. Off the top of my head, I could be wrong. Even when he fought Victor Postol, like he boxed and moved, but at times he came forward and pressed him and all these things. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I mean, yeah, Victor Postol he boxed and moved as well, but not as much. He wasn't just solely boxing and moving like like Floyd did or Lara did at the time or whatever. Obviously, Bivol took a different approach because he was bigger, naturally bigger. He could press him forward a little bit, but he still boxed excellently. But Crawford, I don't think he'll be able to push Canelo back like that, and he's not typical mover no more. So it's gonna be a good fight, man. But he's gonna get caught some shots, and if he can stand up to it, it'll be a good fight. But I still don't really like it. But I'm rooting for Crawford because that's my favorite fighter, man. But I'm a Canelo fan as well. But Crawford's my favorite fighter.
We'll see what happens. Denzel, appreciate your time. Tell everyone where to follow you if they're not already.
Yeah, man. Just too sharp _D on Instagram and Twitter, and don't follow me now. Don't miss it, man, because you might miss me winning my world title. So look in, guys.
Well, yeah, we'll see what happens after April 5th. I'm sure that's supposed to be you'll be calling Janibek out probably straight away. But
100%.
we'll see what happens. Denzel, appreciate your time.
All right, nice one. Thanks.